Hey everybody, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and this is my series, Nails in a Coffin, where we learn that with great kills, there must also come great nails. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you are new here, the read what Nails in a Coffin is all about in the section down below, because these videos really aren't film reviews, rather a breakdown of the kills and evaluate how well the victim responded to their attack. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Before we get started with the video, for the last couple years, this time of year, I like to do a giveaway. It's just something to spread some holiday cheer to everybody. So, to be entered into a giveaway to win this Funko Pop of Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and comment on any video, including YouTube Shorts, starting from the 20th of November until December 18th. You only get one entry per video, but every video you comment on, you get an entry. After the 18th of December, I'll add all entries in a random generator, and I will pick a winner and ship you out this Funko Pop of Wolverine. That's probably put some more swag in there as well. Like I said, I've done it the last 2 years. It's just my way of spreading some holiday cheer throughout everybody, hoping everybody's doing well. I hope you're all having a wonderful time celebrating with friends and family. Even if you're not in the U.S., I hope you're doing well as also. But it is Thanksgiving here, so I'm covering Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, which came out last year. It was inspired by a fake trailer that Roth made for the Planet Terror Death Proof double feature. The movie centers around a town in Massachusetts where the Thanksgiving celebrations turn deadly after a max killer, just as a pilgrim, begins a rampage. So, looks like dinner is served, so let's give Thanksgiving some nails in a coffin. But first, since Thanksgiving kicks off the holiday season, I need to change something. That's better. That feels great now. So, let's get started. Our first set of kills happened just 10 minutes into this film as a mob of people grouped outside a department store on Thanksgiving waiting for some Black Friday deals. There's so much weight on the door as they break open. One store employee is trampled to death while another customer rips his throat open on a broken glass. A few minutes later, this customer, still bleeding, grabs a waffle iron, and then he falls to the floor and dies. Okay, first up is this unnamed shopper who ripped his neck open, and I'm going to give him one nail in the coffin. I 100% think it's stupid to be in a mob on Thanksgiving to buy crap you don't need just to save a few bucks. But that's not why I'm giving him one nail in the coffin. After he did rip his neck open, he still wanted to go find a damn waffle iron. He never tried to get some help, didn't even put his hand on his neck to try and slow the bleeding. He just let himself bleed out and continue with the mob to get a bloody waffle iron. It was stupid. Yeah, easy one nail in the coffin for him. Doug, the store worker that was trampled to death, I'm going to give him 2 nails in the coffin. He was innocent here. He was just locking the doors to stop the mob of morons from busting in. He did see the glass door in the crack, and then the doors broke and he was trampled to death. You may argue he should have backed up away from the doors when he saw the glass start to break, but I'm not going to take too many points off for that. It was 100% the fault of the mob of idiots, not his, so I'm going to go down the middle and give him 2 nails in the coffin. Amanda Collins, she was knocked down into chaos, and now she's crawling through the crowd of shoppers. She gets bashed in the head with the shopping cart, her head gets caught in the shopping cart's wheel, and then when it's pulled away, she's partially scalped before she dies. I'm going to award Amanda 2 nails in a coffin. I know that may seem high to some, since you can argue that she should have gotten up to her feet right away. Staying on the floor in a situation like this is definitely a bad move. But when you learn more about her later on in the film, I understand. I just didn't see anything her doing as stupid. She was scared and she didn't know what to do. I'm not going to fault her for that here. In the past, I've given victims 1 nail in the coffin for freezing in the face of danger, but for this kill right here doesn't fit for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but here I think she was innocent. She was just scared, so I'm going to give her 2 nails in the coffin. We jump to 1 year later, and diner employee Lizzie is closing for the night. Right before she leaves, she's attacked by our killer wearing a John Carver mask. He shoves her head into a wall and slashes her hand with the blade, then ducks her head in a sink full of water. He opens the walk-in freezer and pushes her face against the door and freezes her skin to it. The killer then goes to retrieve his axe, but Lizzie gets her face off the door, peeling off a layer of skin. She gets away, locks herself in an office, but she can't unlock her phone, so she checks the security camera and decides to leave the building. She opens the door and the coast looks clear and she gets ready to exit the building. She stops in the parking lot once she does to get her car keys. The killer is there waiting for her in his car. He turns on the lights and starts to accelerate, and she runs away from the car and dives into a dumpster, but he slams the car into the dumpster. The lid slams down, cutting Lizzie in half. I feel that Lizzie deserves 1.5 nails in a coffin. I give her credit for trying to get away, but I did see some errors in her judgment. I don't know how she couldn't unlock her phone since she tried to use facial recognition to do so. There was blood on her phone since it was a movie. I guess she couldn't clean it off. She was using her fingers instead of any piece of cloth to wipe the blood off. So she could have called the authorities or somebody. And she did try and leave, but why did she stop in the middle of the parking lot to get her keys? She should have kept running straight to her car, straight somewhere, anything than stopping when you're in that much danger. And yeah, so the best I'm going to be able to give her for all those stupid mistakes is 1.5 nails in the coffin. John Carver's next victim is Manny. He was one of the security guards from the year prior. He's packing his bags, getting ready to leave town. He's on the phone talking to his ride. He looks out the window. When he goes to finish packing, his passport is now missing. He's looking through his apartment and he can't find a passport. He sees a John Carver mask on his couch. He knows he's in danger. So he grabs a bat and he's making empty threats to whomever's in his apartment. It's pretty lame threats. But he's searching for the intruder. Then out of nowhere, the killer who's hiding on a table stabs Manny in his stomach with a Lechon Carver knife. He then wraps a garrote around Manny's neck, pulls it until he was able to actually remove Manny's head from his body. Manny earned himself 1.5 nails in a coffin. He made the mistake of searching for the intruder all by himself. It's a common error in judgment you see in horror films. He should have got out of the apartment and called the police. He knew he was in danger in town since he was in such a hurry to leave, but he wanted to try and act tough, to do the tough guy routine and make empty threats. I can understand if he's protecting a loved one. He was boasting of what a good security guard he was, but all he really did was look directly in front of him. He didn't scan the room. How do you miss somebody hiding underneath a dining room table? But he did grab a bat and try at least something. So it just edges him out for getting more than 1 nail in the coffin. But the best he's ever going to get is 1.5 nails in the coffin. Moving on to meathead with a thick Boston accent, Lonnie. He's in the back of the school gym watching his friend Amy jumping up and down on a trampoline. She's bouncing up and down, taking off her panties. And out of nowhere, the killer shows up and twists Lonnie's head off around, killing him. Dude was an asshole, but I'm going to have to give him 2 nails in a coffin. He was just watching his girlfriend jumping up and down on a trampoline. He didn't do anything stupid or foolish here. He never even knew what hit him. The killer appeared out of thin air and twisted his head all the way around, which is not something a normal human can do. So Lonnie is more a victim of a horror trope than stupidity, which is why I go down the middle here and give him 2 nails in the coffin. Amy, unaware of her boyfriend's fate, she continues to jump till the killer stabs a spike through the tarp, catches Amy in the ankle, causing her to fall. Another spike gets one in the arm, and she continues to bounce till the final spike goes through her abdomen, killing her. I'm also going to give Amy 2 nails in a coffin. She couldn't see what happened to Lonnie. She was just bouncing, getting ready to take her clothes off for happy time. The first spike hit her in the ankle, and then she fell onto another one, and the momentum from the trampoline caused her to land on the final spike, going through her abdomen, killing her. It was 3 bounces, and I didn't see what else she could have done here since, she didn't have much of a chance. So she gets a respectable 2 nails in a coffin since there wasn't much of anything she could have done here to survive. Gabby and Evan are leaving school when the killer appears out of nowhere from behind a corner, attacks them, and the screen cuts to black. We'll get back to them later. Our next victim is Julia, who's packing, getting ready to leave town. She's at her vanity talking on the phone with her boyfriend, Scuba, and after she bends down to pick up a Q-tip, the killer shows up behind her and jabs 2 corn holders into her ears. Since she's on the phone with Scuba, the killer shows Scuba, and he's driving with Jess, what he did to Julia, and they both race over there. Meanwhile, she's desperately crawling away from the killer. When Scuba and Jess get there to the house, they find Julia's father and a cop knocked out by the front door. They rush upstairs where they see the killer holding a wife to Julia's neck, showing a video of Evan and Gabby being held hostage. Scuba has a gun pointed at the killer, asking Jess what he should do. Julia screams at him to shoot. When Scuba tries to shoot, he forgets the safety is on. The killer uses this time to turn on the table saw. He throws Julia on top of it, and she's gutted to death. Julia earned herself 2.5 nails in a coffin because she did better than most people in horror movies. She pulled those corn holders out of her ears, and she tried to get away. Not just lay there and scream like you see in a lot of horror movies. She screamed for help, and when her boyfriend and Jess showed up, she was still struggling, but, she couldn't do much with the knife by her throat. She was yelling at Scuba to shoot the killer. And then when she was thrown onto the table saw, she also tried to put her hands down, but the blade caught her hands and she didn't make it. She did better than many of the other kills I've covered on this channel. She actually tried something and fought a little bit. So that's going to earn her a solid 2.5 nails in the coffin. Thanksgiving Day Massacre Lionel's next when during the parade, someone in a clown costume just walks up to him and decapitates him with an axe. A quick kill that's going to get a quick nail rating. He gets 2 nails in a coffin. He was just walking down the street and he was another victim of never knowing what hit him. Many people are dressed up for the parade and that wasn't out of the ordinary. So I didn't say anything Lionel did that here was foolish. He was innocent, so that's going to get him 2 nails in the coffin. That murder caused a bunch of chaos at the parade and floats are crashing into each other, which results in one accident that kills an unnamed man when the bow of a float pierces through his head. Yeah, for the same reason as Lionel, this man's going to get 2 nails in a coffin. Now, I'm not supposed to say here, since he was just an innocent bystander who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nothing he can do. Again, didn't know what hit him. Again, earning him 2 nails in the coffin. Right as this was happening, a killer was able to kidnap Scuba, Jess, Tom, and Kathleen right as they piled into a police cruiser. Kathleen wakes up on a table and John Carver is brushing melted butter on her and seasoning her with salt, pepper, and herbs. Our mystery killer goes to turn the oven on, taking his mask off in the process. A few moments later, he retrieves his mask and the heat from the oven scorched it. He puts his mask back on and he returns to the prep table, but Kathleen is no longer there. He then picks up a pitchfork and he goes looking. Kathleen does her best to try and evade the killer. She gets upstairs from the basement and then finds Gabby nearly dead in the fridge. Gabby's blood pools up on the floor from the fridge and Kathleen's tracks are now on the floor. She's hiding on the other side of the wall as the killer stands in the kitchen. She's ready for him to attack, even holding a wine bottle on hand, but he backs up. Her moment of relief doesn't last long as he jams a pitchfork through the wall. Kathleen makes a run for it out the front door, but the killer throws the pitchfork into her back and then drags her back in the house. Then we see she's inside a large oven. She's begging for life, only for the killer to jam a pop-up timer in her and close the door, and she's literally cooked alive. I'm giving Kathleen 3 nails in a coffin. She was smart when she didn't move or open her eyes when the killer was basting her. The moment he stepped away, she got up and hid. She made it upstairs and was desperately trying to find a way out. She didn't give up at all. She was terrified but determined to get out. She was quiet and hid the best she could, and when she had no other choice, she ran. And even after the pitchfork was in her back, she was still fighting. She also died in one of the worst ways you could possibly imagine. And I was just impressed with her guts there, so she's going to earn herself an honorable 3 nails in the coffin. Let's move on to dinner. The killer has all the people he kidnapped tied to chairs around a dinner table for a Thanksgiving dinner. The killer goes over to Evan. He picks up a meat tenderizer, placing Evan's head down on the table. He says it was Evan's video that inspired him, so he raises the meat tenderizer up and smashes Evan's head like a pumpkin. Only a few more nails to dish out, and Evan is awarded 2 nails in a coffin. There wasn't anything he could have done. He was tied up with no way to defend himself. We didn't see how he got into the position, just that he was kidnapped earlier, only knowing that he was taken earlier in the film. He didn't make any foolish decisions here that aided in his demise, so for that, I'm going to give him 2 nails in the coffin, because there really wasn't much he could have done here. During this dinner ordeal, Jess and Scuba were actually able to break themselves loose, and the pilgrim chased them out, but they were actually to get free. But the final climax of the movie, we're in the sheriff's office, and Jessica noticed some debris from the woods that stuck to her clothing as she was trying to evade John Carver. This debris is on Eric's pants, the sheriff, revealing that he is, in fact, the killer. Eric reveals his motives for the murders. After his wife left him, he met Amanda, and they had an affair, resulting in her becoming pregnant with this child. She planned to divorce Mitch to be with him. But when Amanda was killed during a Right Mart incident, not only did Eric lose the love of his life, he also lost his unborn baby. He began targeting those he held responsible for the riot, as their negligence and violence caused Amanda's death along with the death of their child. Little does Eric know that Jess secretly live-streamed his confession for all of the internet to see. Very pissed off, Eric attacks Jess, and he's about to kill her, but Bobby shows up in the nick of time, saves her by throwing something through the window, hitting Eric, and they both take off running. Bobby and Jess try and drive away in a tow truck, but Eric wraps the cable around a concrete pillar, and this momentarily stops the couple. Jess quickly loads a musket and takes aim on a parade balloon that's filling up with flammable gas. She fires the weapon at the balloon, igniting it, engulfing Eric in flames as Bobby drives out of the building. As the movie ends, we hear from one of the firefighters that they couldn't locate the body, so I'm not going to be able to count Eric's death and give him an hour. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my nails in the coffin for Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. Here's a summary of all the nails I've awarded. And here's a look at the average nails in a coffin, which is 1.96 nails, which is definitely on the higher side of a slasher. But I look back over my ratings, and I think they're all solid. Just not too many stupid decisions by the victims in this movie. There we have it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day, vacation time, whatever you got going on with friends, family, or even by yourself. Just hope you're all doing well. Don't forget to leave a comment so you're going to be entered into that Funko Pop. It should be a lot of fun this holiday season. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know, usual. Let me grow this channel. It'd be really great. So, as of recording this, I don't know what I'm going to be nailing next, so I'll see you here next Friday. So take care, everybody. Again, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a killer day. Until then, be good to yourselves and be good to each other. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. And remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.